Hello everyone, and welcome to a game called Kohana. This is a short visual novel made for the Spooktober Jam. Though it is not the spooky season, we are here to play the game. Let's go ahead and get started. Also, it looks like a very beautiful game, so that's also why we're gonna play the game. And crows cawed while the last bits of sunlight vanished deep into the tall trees and reminded me of how long I'd been lost in the forest. I glanced at the crying girl sitting beside me. I patted her head. There. Stop crying, Aroa. When Inyo comes, we can finally go home. Ren! What will happen to us? I'm scared, and it's getting dark. What if an evil yokai comes and eats us? Calm down, Aroa. I'll stay with you. Nothing bad will happen. I'm sure of it. I was freaking out as well, especially as a human in a yokai forest. But I needed to be strong for her. Is it true? You'll stay with me? Of course, I'll stay with you forever because we're friends. Friends? I wanted more than friends. How dare you say we're friends? I nodded my head. Yes, and as your friend, I'll stay and protect you. As I bragged, I saw a sparkle in Iroh's eyes. She wiped a tear from her red cheeks and pointed one of her little fingers towards me. Father told me that humans use pinky promises to keep their word. So, pinky promise? I looked at her little finger, and without hesitation, I linked mine with hers. I promise I'll always stay with you, Iroh. That's what I told her, right? I promised. But why did it turn out this way? I'm assuming the promise was not kept. Komayu? I can feel my back hitting the rough asphalt road as a large shadow yokai with the shape of a fox pounces on me from the darkness. Air squeezes out of my chest as the shadow presses against me. My shoulder throbs from the stab of its sharp claws. Its white knife-like fangs in front of my face threaten to rip out my neck. Ren! Behind the yokai, Komayu starts casting his flame. Before it can burn me, I gather all of my strength to hit the shadow and run from it. A second later, the shadow lets out a painful screech when Kamua's flame burns it. I sit on the ground, watching from a safe distance as Komayu chases after the yokai. I lay down as I catch my breath. My eyes sting and feel hot from the smoke of the Kamui's flames. I keep butchering Kamui's name. Kamui's? I sighed in relief. When soon after, Komanu manages to push back the yokai as it retreats into the darkness of the night. Nice work, Komayu. I praised the dog-shaped yokai that approached me. He looks displeased. Are you okay, Ren? Still have your head over your shoulder? Haha, very funny. Come on, get up. Komanu helps me to get on my feet, then circles me and starts sniffing, looking for any injuries. Satisfied, he stops as he determines that the worst of my injuries are scratches on my right hand and neck. I look at my surroundings, hoping that there aren't heavy damages from the fight. Luckily, only some vases broke and some plants burned. We have to clean up this mess before the store opens tomorrow. Good thing you didn't burn anything into ashes this time. Yep, except the tails of that cursed fox. My heart skips a beat when Komanu mentions the Fox. Ah, yes. Let's get inside before anyone sees us. Tomorrow I'll ask Azuki Ari to help me clean this mess. I'm exhausted now. I walk to the sliding door entrance of the store, which is also my home, but Kemeinu doesn't follow me. Kemeinu, are you coming? It was them who attacked you. You know that, right? What? Don't pretend to be stupid. You know the foxes attacked you, Ren. Well, I mean, it was shaped like a fox, so I'm pretty sure it was something fox-like, you know. What are you trying to say, you know? I'm saying that you shouldn't protect your enemy, you know? You know I hate the foxes as much as you do. Why would I protect them? If that were true, we wouldn't be in this much trouble. I pierce my lips. This time, I hastily slide the door open, but Kemenu's mouth is faster than my hands. Are you, by any chance, still thinking about her? Definitely. I made a pinky promise a while ago saying I'd be with her forever, and I'm definitely still thinking about her. Even though we're apart, we're still together in my mind. You are, despite knowing about her half-family and what they've done, even now, she still occupies your mind. I bite my lip and clench my fist. I'm tired, Kemeinu. I don't want to talk about this right now. What's the point of protecting your enemy? I can never understand humans. She is not an enemy. I snap at how Kemeinu speaks of her. I look him in the eyes and meet his judging gaze. He waits for me to give him a proper answer about her. I tried to stand firm and keep my composure before him, but my heart and mind are clashing right now. She is my friend. Was. She and her clan tried to kill you just now, or did you already forget? I clench my fists, but nothing comes out of my mouth. I can't think of anything to counter his statement. We look at each other in silence before Kemeinu sighs and raises his head up to the moon. This talk is going nowhere. I'll stand guard tonight in case they attack again. Go and get some rest, Ren, and take care of your hand. You're going to need it tomorrow. And with that, he jumps to the highest point of the store where he can get the best view of our surroundings. Oh, and I want to remind you, whenever you lie or hide something, you have a habit of averting your eyes. Try not to do so next time. Well, thank you for the sound advice. I'll take that to the grave. And then, he returns to his task to guard his place. I hate it when I can't counter his words. Gritting my teeth, I remember that I'll have a busy day tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna have a busy day trying not to avert my eyes because I want to become a better liar. I drag my heavy feet inside the store and try to bury my anger. Welcome to Kohana. How may I help you? Kohana's old confection store I inherited from my late parents. All four of us lived here years ago, but now it's just me and Kemeinu. I was born here, but Kemeinu's lived here even longer. Ever since I was little, Yukai have always visited for our confections. Even though I'm a human, I have no problem seeing or interacting with them. Some of them look scary, but once you get to know them, they're not that different from our human customers. And just like humans, some of them like to poke their noses into other people's business. Young master, what happened to you? What's that wound? One of our Yukai regulars points out the wound on my hand. Meanwhile, others are busy chatting while browsing our confections. Oh, this is, nothing, but just a clumsy accident in the kitchen. Oh my, how many times is that now? You should be more careful. It's nothing serious. Don't worry. So which one would it be, E2? It's the store, right? The The one that they mentioned. Ugh. I can smell that wicked fox from here. Which one? That one. The half-human, half-yukai that stinks the most. Ugh. Oh god. This particular group of yukai are regulars who somehow enjoy gossiping about what happens in the neighborhood. They're not evil, but they can be annoying on some days. Unfortunately for me, they're talking about things I don't want to hear right now. May I take your order? Young master, it's just... People said the store had different scent this morning. They also talked about the problematic Hanyo, and that always makes a scene in the neighborhood. I stay silent, knowing where this conversation will lead. It's them, right? The ones who curse this place, and... One of the yukai sniffs my wounded hand, completely ignoring how uncomfortable that makes me. I can smell that fox from your wound. Young master, so it is true that it was the foxes who murdered your parents. Well, damn, you have to bring that up. That's kind of tragic, I think. My throat constricts as my breath becomes heavy. Fist is clenched. I tried to hold myself together and not make a scene. Bro, I mean, if my parents got murdered and someone's like, oh yeah, bring it up, why don't you? I'm just trying to take your order, okay? I don't want to talk about this right now. Can you just stop gossiping? Jeez. But it's so hard. Why would they remind me about... Alright, you guys have been dawdling here for too long. Go home, we have lots of work to do, and here's the rakugan you ordered. Now go, shoot, get out of here. I don't want to hear about all that. The gossiping yukai are annoyed, but I don't care. I don't want to waste my time with them anymore. Are you okay, Ren? Thanks. You came at just the right time. Don't sweat it. After closing the store, Azuki Ari helps clean up while I prepare some red beans in the kitchen for a brand new batch of Enko. While washing the raw beans in a bowl of water, I look at the calendar on the wall. October 28th. That day is close. You handled work pretty well today, Ren. The day that your parents died, was it on Halloween? I guess we'll find out. Well, I had some help. It's almost the day, isn't it? Kamenyu's gaze also falls on the calendar. I nod. Or maybe it's on the Day of the Dead. Who knows? It's been 5 years, and I think it's finally time for us to make a decision. My hands freeze. My eyes are glued to the red beans under the water. What decision? Ren, don't make this difficult. I promised your parents to protect your life, and the store. That's why we need to do something before it gets worse. I wipe my hands with a towel and unintentionally throw it too hard from the anger building up inside me. Look at me, Kamenyu. I'm still alive, breathing and well. You're doing fine. You're being paranoid. We're doing fine, for now. The foxes' threats, Ren. They're cowards, but once they're set on something, they'll do anything and everything in their power to get it. Those wounds on your hand and neck are proof that they won't stop until you die. I clench my fists, frustrated that I can't say anything in return. Kamenyu is right. The foxes constantly attack us, but they're getting more frequent and desperate these days. Just... what did you do to deserve the foxes attacking you? I want to know the backstory on that. I respected your wish to act passively to their attacks, because you care about that Hanyo girl. But this won't work anymore. The anniversary of your parents' death is in 2 days. 29th? Yep, it's on Halloween. And I will only stay still until then. If those foxes attack us after that, it'll be the end of them. You can't do that! I failed to protect your parents 5 years ago. I will not make the same mistake again. I care about you, Ren. I know very well that you've been through what I know very well what you've been through after the death of your parents. I don't want your efforts in reopening this store to be in vain. The fire of Kameinu's mane glows dangerously, as if reflecting the anger and guilt inside his heart. He turns around and leaves. I try to sleep, but Kameinu's warning rings inside my head, and I can't put my mind at ease. I stare at the last quarter moon outside. The autumn wind feels cold and crisp, but I need it to clear my mind. If Komeinu said that he is going to end the foxes, then it will happen. I shudder at the possibility of bloodshed in my neighborhood. Fights between yokai are not uncommon, and things can get pretty ugly, but I don't know. I guess it's naive of me to think that we can get along with the foxes. Maybe because things were peaceful in the past few years, like back then. Oh, more backstory? Are we gonna need more backstory? Yes! Phew! I made it here. Here, it's done. Whoa, Ren. Your manju is so pretty. It looks like your father's. Thanks. Yours is pretty too. Your manju looks so smooth and round. I had to do it numerous times, but you did it well on your first try. The fox-eared little girl grinned and nodded her head. Pink tinted her cheeks. I couldn't help but think that she was cute when I looked at her. Father always told me to be careful around yokai, but I liked being around Aroha. Her smile always brightened my mood after a tiring day of training. But I feel that your confections are different from mine or Uncle's. I don't know. They feel warm, and I can sense your kindness and passion in them. Really? But do you like it? I love it. I think your confections are the best. Then I'll work so hard so I can keep making confections for you. Oh, that's so sweet. I smile at those sweet memories. I think that was the first time I decided to really pursue this job, making confections, so I could keep making them for Aroha. My childhood with her was fun. Aroha frequently visited, and we never played around the neighborhood without any worries. She was like the little sister I never had. I wonder, since when did the wall separate our lives exist? Wait, since when did a wall separating our lives exist? We used to be together whenever we went, but one day, wherever we went, I noticed that the gleam in her eyes dimmed. Eventually, we stopped talking to each other. I remember how those yokai talked about her. How they despised her for being a half, and how she brought trouble to the neighborhood. Well, screw them. They don't know anything about Aroha and the hardship she faces with the foxes. I believe her. I want to. I believe she's not a bad person, that she has reasons behind her actions. I want to hear them from her. Before everything gets worse, I have to do something. I need to talk to her. The kitchen is empty. I take out just enough ingredients to make a few pieces of confection. I stare at them for a moment, pondering about which confection I should make. A long time ago, Aroha told me that Hokora, down the street from the store, is hers, and if I put an offering there, she'll come to me. Silly me. I'm not even sure if that method still works, but I don't know any other ways to contact her. And if I don't talk to her now, things will go downhill very fast. If I can prevent bloodshed between Komeinu and Aroha, I'll do everything I can. I close my eyes and think about out what would be appropriate for this confection. Something that can rekindle a broken relationship, that reminds Aroha of our childhood memories. Oh, so this is how we get different endings. Okay, let's go ahead and save right here. And make the Joy Yo Manju, because it has the word joy in it, to rekindle our broken relationship. Joy Yo Manju represents the beginning of the season. I made it for her whenever the seasons changed. I hope this will convey my wish to start anew with her. I wonder how this will work. It does. It's done. A confection filled with my hope and our memories. I hope she'll accept this. You are a really good person. How many years has it been since I last came to this place? This Hokora belongs to Aroha. It's neglected, and the rain and dark surroundings don't make the eerie atmosphere any better. No, 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 no. I love the eerie atmosphere. Please keep the rain going. We love the rain. No. People rarely walk down the street, so this Hokora never has any offerings. That's why the foxes thought that this was suitable for Aroha. I was angry when I first heard that, but Aroha never complained. And now, this is my first offering after many years. I wonder how Aroha will act when she comes. I put the confection on the Hokora altar and pray, hoping she'll answer my call. The cold wind snaps me out of my daze. I'm not sure how long I've been waiting for Aroha while sheltered under the trees. It must be past midnight now. I'm stupid for thinking she'd come immediately after all these years, but I can't afford to miss my chance. If the foxes are going to attack again after the anniversary of my parents' death, I have to warn Aroha about Kamenu. That sound. Aroha? Oh, hello. You look a little bit different from the last time I saw you. From the darkness, a short-haired girl emerges. Even though it's covered by a mask, I know that small face and that black hair very well. I run to her, anxious, yet excited to see my old friend after so many years have passed. Aroha, I thought you wouldn't come, Why? Huh? Why did you come here with that thing? After all these years, she turns to the confection on the Hokora's altar. She doesn't sound happy that I called her with it. Aroha, please listen. I just want to tell you that. I know that you're the one who sent the yokai to attack us. But I refuse to believe that. I know that you're being used by the foxes. You're not like them. You're different. I know that. We'll see. Please, Aroha, stay away from the foxes. Kamenu told me that if they attack again, they'll end you for good this time. I can never let that happen. That's why I called you here today. Aroha remains quiet. I bit my lip as my anxiety starts to creep up on me. I brought you Joyo Manji as an offering in hopes that we can start our friendship again. I realize that I haven't been on good terms with you for a few years, when we went our separate ways, but you're still an important friend to me, Aroha. I won't let the foxes put you in danger anymore. Aroha looks down. The darkness of the night covered her mask. I take a few steps towards her. Aroha? Go home, Ren. Huh? Just go home! Aroha pushes me away. Her face is full of anger, but reflected in her black eyes, I can also see pain. It's useless. You're just wasting your time by bringing me that confection. Aroha, why? You told me to stay away from my family, to start over our friendship. But it's all too late. You promised me that we'd always stay together, yet you weren't there when I needed you most. I can't be with you forever. All the time, constantly. I'm sorry that you have to hear that from me, but I mean, you also made your decisions, and in the moment that you needed someone, you made your own decision to do what you did. My instincts tell me to take a few steps away from Aroha. From her feet, a black-shaped fox shadow emerges. It's the shadow that attacked us from the night before. So it's true that Aroha is behind this. Damn it. But the foxes they stayed with me. Aroha looks threatening, with the shadow looming behind her. I struggle to gulp as fear starts to grow inside me. The foxes are only using you for your own gain, Aroha. I mean, their own gain, not your own gain. They're just using you. What do you know? Well, everything is fine in your life. Someone like you, who has everything, couldn't possibly understand how I feel. I've been alone all this time, defending myself. But now that your life is on the line, you suddenly care for me again? You're pathetic. I've never seen Aroha look at me with such much resentment and bitterness before. My place is with the foxes, and I'm staying with them. Don't ever show your face here again. The fox-shaped... Well, at least she didn't kill me. The fox-shaped shadow covers her body and she disappears into the night. My fist clenches, nails stabbing into the flesh. I'm left alone in the darkness, with a gaping hole in my heart. I have everything, you say. I don't have my parents, though. Aroha, you know nothing about me either. Well, I mean, what happened, really? Why did you guys separate? Yes, hopefully we'll figure that out right now. Today is Monaka is really good. Yeah, Mom's Monaka is the best. Even Dad can't make one as tasty as hers. I remember that beautiful afternoon when we sat on the porch while munching on some fresh Monaka. Aroha visited after my confection lesson with Father. How nice! Your mother is so kind and makes delicious confections too. I wonder if my mother would be as kind as her if she were here. Huh? What do you mean? Where did she go? My father told me that she passed away soon after I was born. Oh, I'm sorry. It's alright. I don't know much about her. I stopped asking Father about her because it made him sad. But we have her picture at home, and she's really pretty. I want to see it too. Can we go to your house? I don't think my family would like that. They don't like humans. Even though he's kind, they're even mean to my father because he's a human. I don't want to hurt you, too, Ren. I'm sorry. I remember when Father warned me to be careful around Yukai, especially Aroha's family. We have a complicated relationship with the foxes, he said, at that time. I didn't really understand what he meant. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But are they mean to you too? Aroha didn't answer me right away. Her once cheerful face turned sad and sullen. I heard my great-grandfather say that family is everything, but he also told me that my blood's tainted and I'm a disgrace to the family. Your blood is tainted? What does that mean? I don't know. But my family doesn't like me because of it. Sometimes they say mean things to me, or turn into monsters to make me cry. I don't like them. Aroa's eyes welled up in tears. I didn't know what to say. My parents scolded me at times, but they were never mean. They were kind and loving and supported me whenever I needed help. The foxes might be Aroha's family, but it was wrong of them to make her cry. I patted Aroha's head. I didn't know how else to cheer her up, then be there for her. I don't understand what they did, but you're the nicest girl I've ever met, Aroha. Whenever you're sad, come here. I'll cheer you up and we'll play together until you laugh again. She lifted her head and laughed at my response. The only people who are kind to me are my father and your family in Kohana. But I especially like you, Ren. You're the kindest of them all. Komenu is kind too. Don't tell him this, but his face is scary. This is bad. What do I do? I look at the batch of confections I just made. They're a disaster. Azuka Ari would laugh at me if they saw them. I thought keeping busy with work would take my mind off of yesterday, from Komenu's warning to Aroa, but it isn't working. What else can I do to stop them from hurting each other? I'm just a human in the middle of the affairs between Yukai. Can I actually do anything? Aroha. Her name slips out of my mouth, and I'm flooded with guilt. I wasn't there when she needed me. I abandoned her for 5 years. I can't deny that. What a friend I was after I promised I'd always be by her side. I bite my lip, hating myself for turning into the source of her pain. People say that confections represent the creator's heart, yet it feels pointless to convey my feelings for her. The confectionery skills I pursued my whole life feel meaningless if they can't make her happy. I reach out to destroy the confections, but before I can do it, I hear Komenu calling me. Yo, what's up, Komenu? Ren. I turn my head to the door. Komenu stands there with a solemn face. What is it? I need you to come with me. There's something I want to show you. I feel uneasy as I follow him out of the store. The street leads to the Hokora. Why is he taking us here? I ask him what he wants to show me, but he doesn't answer. Does this have something to do with Aroha? Near the Hokora, Komenu stops. A figure lays on the ground. That's Aroha! I rush to Aroha, panicking as I check her condition. She's unconscious. Bites and scratches cover her body and are deep enough that blood's still dripping from them. I look at Komenu in disbelief. Did he do this? Am I too late? Before you say anything, no. This wasn't my doing. I found her in this condition while patrolling the area. I sighed in relief. If this was Komenu's doing, I wouldn't know how to face him. You know that fights between you and Yukai aren't uncommon, but looking at her wounds, I can see that whoever did this was merciless. Merciless. Perhaps it's because the human's blood is in her veins. I grit my teeth, but we don't have time for that. I carefully wrap my arms around Aroha and carry her back to the store. Where do you think you're taking her? She's still breathing, but if I don't care for her wound, she might not make it. I'm bringing her to Kohana. You're going to help me, Komenu. He opens his mouth to protest, shaking his head disapprovingly. Oh. I knew this would happen the moment I brought you here, Ren. I warned you that helping this Hanyo won't bring us any good. It's better to leave her to her fate. I won't repeat myself. I am taking her to the store, with or without your approval. Oh, it's probably a trap. They realize how much you care for her, and then they probably did that on purpose, so they could get you to let your guard down, so they can have an in to your store, or they're trying to get her inside, so she can kill you herself. That's what I'm thinking, of course. Because I always think the worst things. Things have calmed down. Azuki Arai had panicked when I brought Aroa in through the back door, and caused a bit of a ruckus. Komenu brought them outside to calm down, while I tended to Aroa's wounds in one of the rooms. I've done what I can. I might call a Yukai healer later, but her wounds were already healing when I cleaned them, so hopefully it won't be necessary. Aroa's still unconscious, though. Just call the healer, why not? Rin, Azuki Arai needs you in the kitchen. We haven't even seen Azuki Arai. I wonder if he has a character model. You have to get back to work. Bruh, my friend is on the verge of death. Kumeno enters the room. He looks at Aroha suspiciously, but doesn't try to harm her. I can't leave Aroha alone. She won't be alone. I'll look after her until she wakes up. You have a responsibility to this store and its customers. You should honor it. How can I work after all of this trauma? The store was busy when I came back, and Azuki Arai can only do so much. I don't want to go, but I trust you, Komenu. When she wakes up, you better not scare her. Yes, yes. Now go make some confections already. Just go do your job. Ugh. Where am I? You're finally awake. This is Kohana? So what? I'm your prisoner now? Prisoner? Your mind has been twisted by the foxes, I see. Do you think Ren would take you as his prisoner? You should just watch your mouth, little girl. You're injured, and, against my better judgment, he brought you here to take care of you. Well, I expect you to thank him later, but I might be expecting too much. I don't need your help, and you don't have to pretend to be nice to me. I can feel your intent to kill me. You and your clan caused my previous master's death, and you've tried to hurt my current master. If it wasn't for his feelings for you, you'd be dead at this very moment. But regardless of what I think, Ren trusts me to look after you, so you're safe with me. You're all wasting your time. I'm leaving. Arrgh. You haven't completely recovered yet. Moving around will only make the wounds worse. Give them a few more hours, and then you'll be free to go. Well, I don't need your kindness. Just leave me alone. Why do you work so hard to push away those around you, Aroha? You, of all people, should know how much Ren cares about you. Despite what your clan did to his parents, and what you've done to him lately, he still thinks highly of you as his friend. I don't think she cares about his emotions right now. If you have a single ounce of gratitude left inside you, you should leave him alone. It's too late to take back what I've done. Everything has already happened, already set in motion. It's better to see things through to the end. You're right, though. Ren should have left me there, because this won't stop my clan from attacking him and this store. Ren told me that the next time we attack, you'll end us for good. You might as well end me now, so you'll have one less thing to worry about later. You're not making this any easier for us, little girl. I'll tell Ren you're awake. Bruh, if the foxes really cared about you, they wouldn't have left you like that. So, can't you see that? When Kameno tells me that Aroa's awake, I drop my work to hurry to her room. But stop, as I remember that she'll need food to replenish her energy. I don't have a lot of food in the kitchen because it's used to make confections for the store. Fortunately, I always keep enough to make a simple rice ball, so I quickly prepare some for Aroha. I'm eager to see her, but when the rice balls are done, a realization strikes me. Yesterday, my attempt to persuade Aroha to leave the foxes failed, but I won't give up yet. She's here now and away from the foxes. This could be my chance to express my feelings for her. I looked at my confectionery tools on the table. Confections are representations of the crafter's heart, is what my father told me. I failed to convey my feelings last time. Yet confections are the one thing that bound us together since we were children. It's an unspoken language we share, a little thing inside our hearts. Should I try to make a confection for again? One last time? Oh, we have options again. There's only 2 endings. So I wonder. I'll do Monaka right now. Although the bunnies look really cute. I like to show the warmth of the family, the warmth and love that we can create together. Yes. Monaka is Kohana's trademark confection. The recipe has been passed down from generation to generation. My late mother used to make it for us. I wonder if you really have to choose the right confections to make in order to win her heart or something. It's done. It might be futile, but I hope this time the feelings I poured into this confection will get through to her. I bet she won't need it. When I enter the room, Aroha is sitting and looking at the garden outside. I'm glad to see you're up already. How are you feeling? I brought you some food. You lost a lot of blood, so I thought this would help you heal faster. It's not much, but it's something. Aroha glances at the rice balls, confection, and tea I brought, and then sighs, as though my efforts were futile. But then, she reaches for the rice balls and starts eating. She doesn't speak as she finishes them. After sipping the green tea, she takes the confection and stares at it. This confection is Kohana's special Monaka. I made it just now. I hope you like it. Aroha looks at me before taking a bite. As she chews, her ears twitch a bit. I've made Monaka countless times now, but seeing her reaction makes me nervous. It still tastes the same. Oh, you noticed? I'm glad. Do you remember how my mother used to prepare Monaka for our afternoon snack? After I'd make confections with my father, you and I used to eat this together, then we played it until sunset. I might have made the right decision? Hopefully? You need to stop, Ren. Huh? You keep trying to remind me of the good old days we shared together, but they're long gone. No matter how hard you try, I can no longer be the Aroha you used to know. Yeah, 'cause you had 5 years of abuse. That's a long time. You have no idea what that could do to somebody. Her mind is twisted to her abuser's side, essentially. And, it's very clear that she's, like, in a way, she's, captured herself into this abusive relationship. Because they're convincing her that she loves it, that they love her, but they don't love her. They just want to use her. And that's what abusers do. They convince you that they love you, and then they use you. Everything that they take everything you have, and then once you're spent, they abandon you. Well, something like that. No matter how hard you try, I can no longer be the Aroha you used to know. I understand that, but I want you to know that there's a place for you in Kohana. I've always thought of you as a part of my family, you and Komenu. I know it's a selfish task to ask you to leave the foxes because they're still your family, but I don't think being with them is good for you. Well, perhaps you're right. Really? Then you brought me a Jumanju yesterday and said that you wanted to start our friendship over, but I think that's a lie. No, that's a mended, Ren. As a half-fox, I am your enemy, of your family. I've never been your friend, or part of your family, no matter how much time we spent together when we were young, because I can't forget how you left me alone 5 years ago. I can't reply, because it's true that I left her. I mean, it is kind of weird that you waited 5 years if you loved her so much, because if you could summon her this whole time, you could have, like, went back for her sooner, couldn't you? Aroha raised her bandaged arm. I remember that the scratch there is deep. I think you know how I got these wounds. Yukai can't stand the scent of my mixed blood. They hate it. This is the price I pay for my carelessness, and this hasn't been the first time. You get it, don't you, Rin? A Hanyo like me doesn't belong in this world. That's what they convinced you, because they want to keep you so they can keep abusing you. But that's not true. You casted me out of this place, a place I used to think of as my home. But the foxes you hated so much took me in. I belong to them now. No, you don't. You can make your own destiny, You don't have to belong to somebody, But Aroha, you know they made you do bad things. The foxes are using you. They've never cared about you. I hurried to cover my mouth, but it's too late. I can't take the words back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... No need to apologize. You let your feelings be known. Thanks for the food, but I won't thank you for helping me. I'm leaving. Aroa stands and walks towards the garden. I follow behind her. Aroa, please listen to me. Komenu. You've already said that Komenu would end my clan if we attack again. He better do this job as a guardian, because we won't stop until you die. Chills run down my spine when she gazes at me, with her black eyes full of anger and resentment. The fox-shaped shadow once again rises from her feet and covers her entire body. She disappears. That's a pretty cool power, though. You got some cool powers there. Tomorrow is October 30th, the day that my parents passed away. I can never forget what happened. When I got home, part of the store was enveloped in black soot. The smoke smelled both bitter and sweet from the sugar that burned in the fire. Komenu didn't speak. He just stayed by my side as I stared at what remained of the place I called home. Later in that cold room I had to go to, it smelled of chemicals. My parents' bodies laid on the metal tables, covering from head to toe with white cloth. An officer called my name, gave me his condolences, and proceeded to report the cause of the fire. The foxes did this, was my only thought as I walked home that night. The foxes did this. Ren, I'm sorry for appearing to you like this, but I don't know where else I can go. Ren? Leave. What do you mean, Ren? Ren? My vision is blurry and my ears are ringing. Something wet drips down my temple. Fire surrounds me and I hear a beastly growl. When I left home tonight, I didn't think I'd see such chaos. When my vision clears, I see Komenu shielding me from an enemy's attack. He looks like he can hold up for now, but I'm not sure how long he can keep it up. Today is October 30th, 5 years to the day of my parents' passing. After closing the store early, we went to the graveyard to pay our respects. The graveyard was empty and everything was peaceful until the fox-shaped shadows showed up at dusk. They charged at me without warning, throwing my body against the hard tombstones. Ren, are you alright? Komenu. Can you get up? You hit your head pretty hard. We need to get out of here. Almeno, watch out! Komenu! The fox-shaped shadow launches at us and hits Komenu while his guard is down. He's thrown into a tombstone, crushing it on impact. I rush to Komenu's side despite the throbbing pain in my head. He's breathing, but his eyes are closed. He's unconscious. I'm torn between anger and fear when I see the bites and claw marks on his body. This only happens because he's protecting me. The fox-shaped shadow approaches me, its eyes glowing with the intent to kill me. You demon. I understand why you attacked me at Kohana, but to attack us in the cemetery and cause this much harm to Komenu? You're out of line, Aroha. Show yourself! I know you're here, Roha. If you want to hurt me so badly, then show yourself. Let's settle this right here, right now. Oh, she is actually gonna show up. A girl wearing a fox mask appears from the fog. From behind her mask, her cold eyes pierce into mine. Why, Aroha? I bet they're making her wear that mask because they hate that she is half human. They don't like her human face. So she has to wear the mask to blend in with the foxes. But do you realize that you wouldn't have to hide if you were more accepting of Ren's love, I guess. Isn't it obvious? My clan wants me to eliminate you. Stop this madness, Aroha. Can't you see the foxes are turning against each other? I know this isn't who you are. Silence. The fox-shaped shadow hits me with its tail, forcing the air out of my lungs. I grit my teeth and clutch my stomach. Even standing is a challenge for me. Aroha approaches me calmly, looking down at me with her cold eyes. How many times must I tell you that I'm no longer the Aroha you used to know? I'm part of my clan now. I belong to the foxes. You are my friend, Aroha. You still believe that? This is who I am, Ren. A fox who's going to kill you and bring destruction to Kohana, just like I did 5 years ago. Well, what? What do you mean? You heard me, Ren. Aroha bends over and whispers in my ear. I'm the one who caused the death of your parents. Oh, dang. I'm not shocked in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why you are. That's not true. Why would I lie? I caused their deaths. It's the truth. Always so happy and peaceful, the residents of Kohana were so different from everyone back home. The moment I stepped out of its doors, I returned to a world full of curses and hatred. Everyone hates the Hanyo girl, and that includes you, Ren. I'll never hate you, Aroha. Really? Then let me tell you a story. 5 years ago, a young fox overheard a plan to attack a certain confection store. We're going to do everything to destroy it, she heard. Of course, the stupid young fox was caught eavesdropping immediately. You think she would have said something to stop the attack, since the confection store that she cared so deeply for was her haven. But instead, she cowered, mouth shut tight. She simply stood there watching as the flames devoured the store and its residents to ashes. Well, I mean, you were scared. How is this your fault? I did nothing when my clan attacked Kohana, and soon after, I heard your parents died. I could have prevented that, but I didn't. You didn't because you were scared. Don't you hate me now? For letting your parents die? Oh, so did you pull away from him yourself because you were so guilty about not doing anything? Because that's what it's starting to sound like now. Well, I'll never hate you because the one who killed my parents was the one who started the fire, not you. Well, wasn't you nor the foxes. Oh? What? I've kept it to myself all this time, holding it onto it like my life depended on it. But now it's time to let go. To let you know, Aroha. Oh no, what if he did it? Damn, this is dramatic. I love it. The fire that devoured Kohana that afternoon wasn't caused by the foxes. It was an accident. I wonder if it's a lie. To make her feel better? I'm really interested. Aroha's eyes snapped back wide open. She takes a few steps back. I'm sure she doubts me, but the foxes did attack Kohana that day, and they destroyed a lot of the store. Yet my parents survived because Komeno protected them. But they sent him to protect me on the way home, and when we returned, the fire had already burned the store and my parents inside it. The next day I was told that a leaking gas pipe caused the fire. Maybe the leak happened before or after the attack, but the fight was between Komena and the foxes started the fire. Once it reached the gas leak, The explosion destroyed the building and trapped my parents inside. If only the foxes didn't attack that day. If only Kohana stayed with them instead of coming to me. If only Aroha could have stopped the foxes. If only I was there. None of this would have happened. For 5 years, I kept the secret from you, so that the guilt would gnaw away at you from the inside. What? Wait a minute. You wanted her to feel guilty? Wait, what? Now this is I don't know. Ooh. I channeled all of my hatred and anger onto you, like the coward I am, and caused you so much pain and suffering. You're lying. I hate the foxes. Sometimes that hatred was so overwhelming that I thought of sending Kohana to kill them, not caring what they'd do to him. Those times, I just wanted the foxes to suffer. But then I remembered how you'd lose your family if that happened. Stop it! A strong gust of wind blows and flings me away from her. Our surroundings darken as the shadows blanket the sky. Is this Aroha's power? Aroha, listen to me. No, don't come near me. I struggle to take each step towards her. The powerful wind screams in my ears and whips against my body. But still, I walk. When I get close enough, the fox-shaped shadow positions itself to attack me. But before I can, I extend my hand as far as possible and snatch her mask off. When the wind fades and the darkness dissipates, her face is revealed. She's crying. You're lying. Aroha, I'm sorry for keeping the truth from you all this time and causing you so much pain. It crushed my heart every time. I remember what happened to my parents, to my home, and in my selfishness, I made you and Kohana suffer. I still remember that day that you came to me crying, telling me that you had nowhere else to go. Yet I took my resentment out on you and told you to leave. When I heard that your father left you that day, I regretted my actions ever since. When you attacked Kohana a few days ago, I knew that all of that hatred was finally being repaid to me. All of your pain and suffering was because of me, and that's why. I'm sorry. Why? Why are you apologizing? I did nothing when I heard about the attack. Your parents would still be alive if I did something. I'm the one who caused all of this. I bet the foxes convinced her of that, because that's what kept you away from the person who actually cared about you. Well, that's not true. You couldn't have known what would happen. Please don't blame yourself, Aroha. I tried to kill you, Ren. I hurt Kohana too. I know, but I'm willing to put everything behind us. You're important to me, and I care about you, so please. I forgive you. Can you forgive me? Aroha froze herself at me, hugging me tightly while crying her heart out. Between her wails, she repeatedly cries out, I'm sorry. Tears flow from my eyes as I hug her back. I'm sorry too, I whisper. Years of hatred, sorrow, and guilt finally crumble away like falling leaves in the autumn. This afternoon I can breathe peacefully again. Oh my gosh. That's the good ending. We got the good ending, I think. I'm pretty sure there's a bad one too if we get the wrong confections. But, my god, that was such a well-written story. There's a lot of stuff here. And I loved going into the psychology of, like, psychological abuse. And how, abusers try to isolate you from, like, people that you actually love and care about you because they want to keep you with them. They want to control and manipulate you. And keep you isolated. It's a tactic, to keep people where they, anyway, yeah. And this, game really went into that, and I can appreciate it for all of the writing. Oh my gosh. Even that fox spirit looks cool, even though he's the antagonist. You guys know we have to go back and do the other confections, right? Thank you, Mushroom Mallow Studios for making this game. Very good. And it's very beautiful, too. I also like Marshmallow Studios. That's a good name. That's so cute. I love your mushroom. Oh, we're gonna get afterthought. Today is October 30th. Autumn greets us with crisp, cool air and crimson leaves. The best time of the year, friends. Once again, I pay my respects to my parents' grave. I run, afraid to make a certain girl wait too long. You sure took your sweet time, Rin. I'm sorry, something came up at the store. Aroha stands near my parents' grave. She folds her arms, annoyed by my lateness. Aroha and I light some incense. We put them at the altar and pray in silence. When I open my eyes, Aroha is still praying. I smile and wait patiently until she opens her eyes. That's a long prayer. What did you tell them? I asked for forgiveness for all the bad things I've done to you, Kohana. And Kohana. I also thank them for their kindness and for giving me an opportunity to be a part of your family. You've always been a part of our family, Aroha. Thank you. But even after a year, Kohana still keeps his distance from me. He may not look like it, but he's just shy. When you came to Kohana last year and bowed deeply to ask for his forgiveness, I think he already accepted you as part of Kohana. He has his own way of showing his affection. Just give him some time, if you say so. And, I brought this today as an offering. Will this be alright? Aroha takes out a box and shows me the confections inside it. Monaka, did you make them yourself? Yes, I tried it just like you taught me, but even after a few attempts, this was the best I could do. Well, I'm sure my parents will like it. Besides, you have plenty of time to practice now that you live in Kohana. It still feels unreal that I'm back in a place from my childhood. When you invited me to live with you in Komenu, the thought of leaving the foxes scared me. But at the time, being with you in Kohana always felt right. Like it's a home I truly belong to. When you brought those Oyo Manju to my Hokora, they reminded me that broken relationships can be mended, and that even someone like me deserves a new, hopeful beginning. They gave me the strength to finally take a step forward, to let go of everything that's been dragging me down. Thank you, Ren, for being there and believing in me. I'm still a fox, but I'm part of your clan now, and I swear to protect you and our clan from anyone that threatens us. Her eyes burn with determination. I smile and take her hand. I said her heart. This is such a heartwarming story. I mean, after all this pain and suffering, they still ended up together forever. A silver line wrapped around her ring finger reflects the light of the autumn sun. We'll protect each other, you, me, and Komenu, because we're family. Aroha smiles. It's one I've known for a long time, a sincere smile that comes from her heart. Let's go home, Aroha. Kamenu is waiting for us at Kohana. Yes. And what a beautiful ending. They're a family now. Oh man. A new beginning, reunited. Oh man. We're gonna have to go back and watch the death of these characters now. That is definitely something that I'm waiting to see. Because I like death and destruction. I'm sure that if we make well, I don't know. What if it's two good endings? Because this also seems very meaningful. Sakura Mochi, to remind Aroha of our childhood memories. Sakura Mochi was the first wagashi we made together. I regularly made it for her, or when we were children. I hope that with this, Aroha will remember our good times together. Alright, let's see. It's done. A confection filled with my hope and our memories. I hope she'll accept this. Let's see what happens. I wonder if I can skip to a place that I haven't read, if they will stop it. Okay, they did. I brought you Sakura Mochi as an offering in hopes that it will bring back the good memories we shared as children. You've always been an important part of my life, Aroha, and seeing you like this, being used by the foxes for their own gain, and even being put in danger, I can't stand it. Aroha looks down, the darkness of the night covering her mask. I take a few steps towards her. Aroha. I step back, oh no, and feel my cheeks stinging. Oh, she's gonna kill us right now. Blood drips down my face. I touch my cheek in disbelief. Aroha, why? She scowls with anger and resentment. What do you want, Ren? Bringing me that confection and forcing me to see you after you abandoned me for 5 years? I mean, you kinda, we know that you kinda, like, abandoned him, too, right? You pulled away from him, he was angry, he pulled away from you. It was a team effort, guys, let's just admit that. So, what do you really want? I just want to remind you. What? That you had a wonderful childhood and want to rub it in my face? That poor Aroha got into trouble because of her evil clan. Just tell me what you want and get your ass out of here. Aroha, I just want to help you. Who? So, only now you care about me, huh? My instinct tells me to take a few steps back from Aroha. From her feet, a black fox-shaped shadow emerges. It's the shadow that attacked us from the night before. So it's true that Aroha is doing this. Damn. Let me tell you something, Ren. I hate you. The naive young master of Kohana, who only sees the good in the world. Just because we spent some time together, you think you know what's best for me? How easy it is for you to tell me to abandon my family and save my own tail. That's not what Then why do you have to remind me of our past? I'm no longer that weak child. That Aroha is long gone. Someone like you who has everything couldn't possibly understand how I feel. My place is with the foxes. Don't ever show your face here again. The fox-shaped shadow covers her body and she disappears into the night. My fist clenches, nails stabbing into the flesh. I'm left alone in the darkness with a gaping hole in my heart. I have everything you say. Aroha, you know nothing about me either. Well, I mean, I don't have my parents. Okay, I feel like it's gonna be the same. Because the past can't change. Let's go to the Azujimenju as a sign of good luck and a good omen. This is probably also the wrong decision. Saju Jimenju is a confection that I consider my specialty because I developed the recipe myself. I believe it's a good sign of a good omen. Oh, you said that about your own recipe? Okay. I'm glad you think so highly of it. It's done. It might be futile, but I hope this time the feelings I poured into this confection will get through to her. She's sitting alone, looking at the garden outside. How are you feeling? I brought you some food. You lost a lot of blood, and the effort was futile. But she eats anyway. She takes the confection and stares at it. This confection. This might be the first time you've seen this one. Is a suji manji. I'm so butchering these. A rabbit-shaped manju filled with persimmon paste. It's a recipe I developed years ago. I hope you like it. Aurora looks at me before taking a bite. As she chews, her ears twitch a bit. Many of our customers like it, but seeing her reaction makes me nervous. It's warm and sweet. It's good. I'm glad to hear that. You know, I thought of you when I made that yusamanju. Rabbits are known to bring good fortune, so a lot of confection stores make yusamanju because it's a good omen. Like you. Me? A good omen. Yes. The first time we met, I didn't understand what you were. You are a yukai, yet you're also a human? I think you represent the best from both worlds. A warm human heart and the divine power of a yukai. You symbolize how wonderful it would be if humans and yukai could live together hand in hand. Stop it. Huh? Are you telling me that this mixed blood in my veins is a blessing, when all it brings me is misery? I understand why you see it that way, but I want you to know that I've never seen you as your lineage. You are a Henyu. It's true, but before anything else, you're a Roha. You're yourself, and with all the bad and the good inside you, and I want you to be friends with you. But you must realize that even though the foxes are your family, all they've done is put you in danger. I'm worried about you, Aroha. Perhaps you're right. What? Then I envy you, Ren. You were raised by such a wonderful family, and you can only see the good in people, blind to the darkness inside them. My childhood memories are filled with you in this place. You reminded me of that with the sakura mochi you brought me yesterday. I thought of you as my friend, and I believed that you'd keep your promise. But apparently you still see me as a half-fox, like me. Wait, apparently you still see a half-fox like me as your enemy to your family, because 5 years ago you left me alone. I can't reply because it's true that I left her. Aroa raised her bandaged arm. I remember the scratch there is deep. I think you know how I got these wounds. Yukai can't stand the scent of my mixed blood. They hate it. This is the price I pay. I read this. Let's go ahead and go. Let's see what happens. Oh. I got the same ending? I think? Let's skip it. Let's see if something different happened. Once again, yes. When I arrived at their graves, I see something unexpected. Incense is already lit on the... Oh, this is different. Okay. I don't know how to go back, but okay. We made a different ending. Good. Incense is already lit, and on the altar there's a fox mask. I know very well, along with some Yujimanji? Well, looks like that Henyu girl beat you to it, Ren. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Oh wait, so we missed something. We definitely missed the, encounter. Unless it's exactly the same. And she just didn't go back with him this time. But wouldn't the dialogue change? I don't know. A few days after what transpired with Aroha last year, she visited Kohana again. Kamenu wasn't pleased in the slightest. Aroha's fox did manage to knock him out, after all. But after Aroha bowed deeply and asked for his forgiveness, he retracted his claws and left her alone. Didn't she send you a letter last week? I nod. In her letter, she told me that she's doing well. Although it's slow, she said, she's making some progress with her family. The foxes have done so many awful things, both to yokai and humans. But you've taught me that even someone like me deserves a second chance. There are so many obstacles, but I remember that Akuro mochi you brought to my Hokura, and the warmth of the childhood memories we served. They reminded me that I'm not alone, and I'm never alone, and that my friend will be there for me when I need them. They give me strength, and with it, I'm working hard to redeem my clan, one good deed at a time. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for being my friend. I was worried when she told me that she'd be going back to the foxes, but she was so determined that day. Oh, she is making changes with everything. Everything. I don't know which one's the better ending. The good converting to evil, or her being out of her stressful, abusive relationship with the foxes. Like a small flower in the grass that won't budge in the wind and always stands up after being stepped on. I didn't realize you were a poet, Komainu. Shut up. Can't this old dog have a bit of fun? We laugh after burning incense and paying respects to my parents. I stare at the God. On the altar once again. Aroha, this really is a good omen. What's that? She was born between two sides of the world and will bring good fortune to both yokai and humans. She'll lessen the disparity between us by bringing bridging our worlds together. That's a lot of expectation to put on those tiny shoulders of hers. I know, but I have a good feeling about her. Let's go home, Komainu. Our customers at Kohana are waiting. That's my line. Yes. Both very beautiful endings. I thought we were gonna get a bad end where everybody like dies, but this is a new beginning. Faith. So, if anything, this game is telling us that despite all the bad, something good can come out of it. So, it's a very good game, very beautiful game, and I'm very happy I got to play it. I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, alright? Goodbye.